all tacked up here. The holes and the pin all still line up and work smoothly, as you can see. Like that. Lines up over here. Hope if I lined up the hole first though. All lines up good. So I'm gonna weld it up. I'm gonna use some of this Lincoln Jet Weld 7024. It's 1/8 inch because why not use it? Makes for a nice bead appearance. And it runs really well on AC. So I'm probably gonna run it at 150 amps or so. So, yep. Here's the final result. 7024 laid in there pretty nicely. I did in here and under there. And again, this is where stick really shines. It would be kind of a pain to get a MIG gun in there and try to get the correct angle. But stick electrode goes right down in there and works really well. So, yep. All bolted up here, as you can see, comes together. It has a slight tendency to go that way, just a little bit, but it's pretty straight. Besides that, it lifts up good and it moves good too. I can do this one-handed. And then also, that edge is a little bit close to the ground, but I think it's enough clearance. But yeah, so I just need to figure out the linkage to make it go up and down and stuff. Now I got to make this plow move up and down mechanically without interfering with the plow tilting to each side. So I think I have a pretty good idea. What I'm going to do first, and this is going to be the main foundation of everything, is I have this piece of square tube, which I'm going to weld right here to extend everything out. And then this piece of 3/4 inch round stock, I have 3 steel spacers for it, is going to be cut to size to be able to stick off or stick out just slightly past this piece, which my handle, in this case, a piece of tube, is going to go on the end. So when you move this handle, it's going to move that round stock down there, like this, on those steel spacers, which I'll weld in here accordingly. And on top of this, I'm gonna have an arm that comes off, and then off that arm, I'm gonna have a linkage with some heim joints. I got some various heim joints here, some 7/16 heim joints here and here, there. I got some 1/2 inch to play around with. Maybe this will work for the ends of that linkage. And on this side of the plow is where things get a little bit tricky, because you don't want to interfere with the movement of anything. So the best way I could do this is go to this hinge point, or this bolt right here, because no matter which way the plow is, which way the blade is facing, that never changes. So what I could do is weld something to this bolt that would come up and then go over to this arm and would move. But I don't know how I feel about putting a big leverage point on this bolt head right here. So what I'm thinking about doing first is at least trying this out. A bracket like this, so it's going to be a piece of flat stock that's flat with a hole in it, and then another piece of flat stock with a hole over here, but it's going to be perpendicular, so it's just welded on top like that. And it has that pivot point down there, which I'm either going to make a bracket or weld a bolt up here, so that's going to pivot. So then when you move the blade off to one side like that, this little bracket piece is gonna hopefully move straight and keep the linkage from the arm there to there straight without interference. It might slightly affect how high it is and everything, but I'm gonna try that first. I could always go back to this idea. I could put a 5/8 bolt and go off that. 1/2 inch would probably be fine, but I probably want 5/8 for that. But I'm gonna try going off up here first. I think it's gonna have a little more mechanical advantage up here over down here. So try it out here. I haven't recorded much recently just because this linkage has been just playing around with it to see what works best. So like I said on the video, when you rotate this whole plow, so if I take this pin out, it's just going to keep this bracket straight, just like that. Straight on that side, straight on that side. And put it back here. And that works pretty well. The one issue with having it up here, and well, really this is a bigger issue than I'm talking about right here, but the amount of movement on this lever, you got to move it quite a bit for it to move down there. That's a pretty decent amount. And when you have it tilted to one side, you have to pick it up more anyway for the corners to clear. So what I have done is introduced a new piece in here. It's just this piece of 2-inch square tube. I boxed this end and it bolts up there. So there's a piece of 3/16 by 3-inch flat stock that's welded to it and bolted to the frame. Oh, and there's the other side right there. And I had to make sure that it would clear this linkage for the pedal. It does, so that's all good. But it already had an existing hole right here, so I ended up just drilling another one next to it, and I got this piece now on there, which is solid. So with this piece, I'm going to move the pivot point back to here, because then I'm gonna have a lot shorter handle, and there's gonna be an arm that comes off this that's gonna be on the shorter side, and it's gonna go up to the lever up here, probably closer up towards where you're actually gonna grab onto it for the maximum movement possible, down to a short, which technically should make it move the most per inches that this will travel, if that makes sense. So I think I'll get more movement with this pivot point and just a connection between that and here. It is gonna make the handle a little more difficult, but it actually picks up pretty nicely. I also tried moving this piece down to here, and I just put it underneath this bolt. That worked pretty good. It moves it pretty good. But it made it really stiff to move, and I don't feel like it allows the blade to flex with the driveway as much as I want. When I put it up here, it flexes pretty good. And I might use these hind joints to connect them. I think I talked about that earlier. I just have a piece of 3/8 round stock that I bent, and I put some duct tape on the ends to hold it. But it's actually not a bad linkage. It works pretty good. But I did test it out. As you can see, it snowed just a little bit, maybe 2 inches, and it works pretty good. Also, another thing I did was, probably show it more. Oh, there you go. I just tacked these standoffs on. So I just took some of that 3/16 flat stock and used the torch and bent a curve in it. So everything it hits, it just will lift the blade up over it. And it has it on this side too. And those are working out pretty good. So I got a little ahead of the filming, and I just went ahead and put everything together. And I figured I would show everyone what I did at the end. So, like I said in the previous video, I now have the lever over here, and works smoothly. I angled it back so you can grab it like that, which when you're sitting on the mower, that works out really nicely, as you can see. So it's just goes from this piece of square 2, which is on that 3/4 inch round stock, and then this 3/8 piece of round stock in between, to the 1 inch piece of square tubing on this side, on the square tubing that goes underneath the lawn tractor. And everything works correctly, like I showed, with the pin and that staying true when it moves. I also put chains on the lawn tractor. Of course, it stopped snowing though, so I never got to use them. But It does have chains now. I never actually got to plow with it when I had the lever relocated back here. I kind of got this thing done last minute at the end of the season. So I'm gonna play some of the plowing clips when the lever is mounted up here to show you guys how it works and everything. But yeah, overall it works really well. It rolls the snow nicely, and I'm very happy with it. Very heavy duty. As you can see, the snowplow does a really good job of moving and plowing the snow. One little thing I'll mention is I ended up not using the heim joints. I just kept this piece of 3/8 round stock with the corners bent at a 90-degree angle. And then I used a die to thread the ends. And then it's just retained with a nylon lock nut on each side. And that ends up working really well. But yeah, I'm probably gonna wait until it starts snowing again so I can make some final adjustments. And I'm probably gonna put a lock on this lever so it'll stay up. And then I'll paint it, of course. But I think for now, this project is pretty much done. So in the end, it ends up turning out really nice and it works out really well. So thank you guys for watching.